G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking about the round 21 preview, couple of matchups and some good captain options at the end here. But of course, we'll start the week as always with the best from round 20, best from last week here, and Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera was leagues above the rest last week. 182 for Naz, 40 plus disposals, 4 goals. Absolutely just had the blinder of the season last week. 182 against North of all people. And then way down there on 147, the next best there, Jarman Impey, who's actually been junking it up the last couple of weeks, and a couple of easy matchups maybe, especially last week against Essendon, but 147 for Impey. He's been doing a bit and getting busy. Darcy Cameron last week against Adelaide in the ruck, 137 with Errol Goulden there as well. A couple of big guys getting busy at the end of the season here. Good to see Errol way back up there as well in the top 5. Zach Bailey there against Port, 133 for Zach Bailey. Yeah, very nice going into the end of the season as well. Brisbane doing well, and Zach Bailey, who knows where he'll be next year. So that's very interesting for fantasy owners. And yeah, Brad Hill keeps that awesome breakout season at 32, 33 years of age, having his best season ever, and 131 for him last week. He's been awesome. Dane Zorko, few veterans here last week, 130 for Zorko in one of his few games this season. Hasn't really been on the park, but good to see him back smashing it out again. Jack Gunston, 129, kicks 7 for the third time in his career, I think, and the third time in the last 2 years. So finding a rare golden years vein of form there for Gunners. It's been fun to watch. Ed Richards against Richmond, was probably going to pop off. Someone at the Doggies was against Richmond, but 128 for Ed Richards. He had a day out. Will Ashcroft has been amazing, especially in this second half of the season. Absolutely dominating week in, week out now. 120 plus again for Washcroft. Jaden Short against the Doggies, lots of kick-ins and getting back to it. 125 for him. Josh Ward, my boy, getting busy against the Bombers. Awesome to see. Had a huge second term in particular. 122 for Wardy. And James Rowbottom for the Swans in the New South Wales clash. And 120 for him, which was awesome to see. Good forward option, and awesome to see him popping off at the butt end of the season here. Some of my favourite players from the past round, and there were a few that we might not have expected to go this big. And at the top here, new favourite at West Coast in my mind, Marcus Herbert. Really junked it up. 35 disposal game, 119 from the mid-season draftee. Has just, put the foot down and come in swinging, become a big fish in a small pond at West Coast, it seems. And good fantasy stocks at this time of the year. So a nice little one popping off there. Hugh McCluggage just hasn't done it this year at all. And 115 for him at home against Port was very nice to see. I do have a friend who has had him all year, and he is unfortunately not making finals. And last week was like, oh my God, why has McCluggage waited all year to pop off like this? So good to see him back, but probably the wrong time to do it for McCluggage owners. Nick Vlauston, another one who hasn't done much this year, but has been known to tee off, and he did against the Dogs. Lots for him in defense, plenty of marks, a few kick-ins, 114. Jagger Smith there, 114 as well. Nice little breakout game in his first season, technically. So awesome to see Jagger popping off against Gold Coast too. Tim Kelly, a couple of West Coast guys here in the Western Australian clash. So interesting one for Tim Kelly, 113, getting busy as a forward option. Darcy Wilson, also great breakout year for him at the moment. Third year for him, or fourth year, can't remember. Very great breakout season for him though, and 113 for Darcy Wilson on the weekend was awesome to see at the end of the week. Nick Bryan, another breakout here, getting in the ruck. Good to see him back against the Hawks too, in Big Meeky, and 111 for Nick Bryan. Good to see if you've been holding on to Nick Bryan in the keeper leagues for a while, he is getting to it. Jasper Fletcher as well. Good to see him in the second half in particular. Really take control in the back half and on the wing. 109 for Jasper. Matty Johnson was the best for Fremantle on the weekend, I think. Interesting one. You never know which midfielder is going to be the best at Fremantle at the moment, but yeah, he got it done in the West Australian clash. 107 for Matty Johnson. A couple of Hawks, Cam McKenzie and Harry Morrison. I did not enjoy Harry Morrison's first half last week, but he kicked on in the end and did, balance it out in the end and had a good game. And Cam McKenzie's been pretty awesome all year. He's had a great little breakout season, 105 apiece. Nick Hayes, veteran for the Carlton Blues against Gold Coast, just getting on the end of some kick-ins, I think, on the weekend and holding the fort down back against the Gold Coast Suns nicely, 105. Lockie Bramble there, 104. Nice utility for the weekend against Richmond. Good matchup, so getting everywhere, 104 for Bramble. Nice, rookie there, Dyson Sharp getting busy last week against the Hawks as well. So, someone had to step up for the Bombers, and seems like Dyson Sharp is finally, or not finally, but first season already coming into his own in the middle there just a little bit, even if the Bombers are struggling hard. And finally there, Tanner Brun against Collingwood Magpies. I got to see him on the weekend. He was getting a bit of it, plenty of marks, I thought. And getting back in defense, obviously, with that defense status. So 101 for the Brun on the weekend. Good stuff. And here we are with the round 21 matchups, guys. Tonight, it starts with Collingwood versus Geelong at the MCG. Very nice way to start the week, I think. A few big names in that one. I reckon Darcy Cameron's going to be awesome against the Cats. Ruckman, Nick Dacos is there. Maybe he's going to have another big one. He hasn't quite popped off in a couple of weeks, I feel. Could do it against the Cats tonight at the G. And then we've obviously got Bailey Smith for the Cats there. No Max Holmes, though. He is done for the year. No danger, I think. So it might be Tanner Bruin again. It might be like Tom Atkins in the middle. Jai Clark is another one there that's getting some games. So interesting time for Geelong coming into finals as well. So it's a really important one to start the week. And I'll be here tonight for that one, guys. So please come along and watch it here with me with the stats up. Should be a bit of fun just talking fantasy and reacting to the games as we always do here. So please like and subscribe, and we'll see you tonight for Cats versus the Pies. And then Friday we've got Dockers versus the Dogs, which should be another awesome matchup to have on Friday night, I think. A couple of finals contenders. Obviously Fremantle, but maybe the Dogs. They're coming okay at the end of the season here. And top 10 at least, you'd say. And good chance. Couple of big names in that one. Obviously the Bont. Ed Richards was huge last week. Tim English has been good. Fremantle, been dominating. Brayshaw, Matty Johnson last week. Luke Jackson, huge names. Caleb Sarong. Awesome stuff to start the week. I don't know. Fremantle's been kind of flatlining a bit. Not hitting the high marks the last couple of weeks. Just getting it done, but not junking it up. So it's going to be an interesting one on Friday night. I do have a few dogs in that. I do love Riley Sanders. Joel Frazier's a bit of fun. Neil Erasmus, potentially he's been off the last couple of weeks, but I'm still a fan of Neil Erasmus. I think he could junk it up, especially if he's at home, maybe. Another good clash on Friday to start the week. On Saturday, there are 4 games on Saturday, but it's a weird time slots. There's 2 games on in the early afternoon. That is Saints versus Swans and Hawks versus North Melbourne. And there's a 2-hour gap, which is weird. And then there's 2 evening games on overlapping a little bit. So it's a bit strange. So starting off on Saturday is Saints versus Swans, which is going to be another awesome top 10 matchup, you'd have to think. Huge names in that. Obviously, Nazaya is in that one at home against the pretty ferocious Swans. So I'm sure he'll match up and ton up again, probably, you'd have to think. But a few other Saints in there I'd love to see get back in there. Maybe Rowan Marshall might be needed against Brodie Grundy, who's been very, very good this year. And I don't know, Tom de Koning was okay last week, but Romar, maybe with de Koning back even, might not hit those high heights again, but against Brodie Grundy again, could be needed tomorrow, Romar. But a few other midfielders there for the Saints, I feel. Hugo Garcia has been a huge fan of him this year. He's been awesome to watch. Do love a bit of Max Hall as well in there. A couple of the young guns getting it done. And Brad Hill, has to be said, having his best year yet. So see how he goes against the Swans, though. Sometimes he can go missing. So hopefully it's not this weekend, because I do have him in a league. Sydney. Isaac Heaney, obviously. Chad Warner, obviously. Who else is down there? Blakey, down the back. Could be getting a bit of it at Marvel, potentially on the kick-ins. Yeah, just a good cracking way to start the week, the Saturday afternoon, I reckon. And obviously, then you've got my boys, the Hawthorn Hawks after that, against North Melbourne, down in Tassie. So another Tassie match. Don't know if it's going to be the last one for the year. Could be. But yeah, Hawks against North. Got to think Hawks should get it done down there. But yeah, never know. North could come good. They got a lot of guns on their team. LDU's in there. Sheasel, obviously. Cherry against Meek could be interesting. Yeah, some North Melbourne guys I do like. And yeah, defenders usually get a bit of it there. Caleb Daniel, Kobe McKercher. Yeah, a few guys down back for North Melbourne. But obviously, the Hawks. Love my Hawks. Never know who's going to pop off for the Hawks, though. Last week it was Josh Ward. Connor McDonald's been good. Lloyd Meek's been solo rucking a bit more. So I don't know if Reeves will be back tonight. Might be next week. But yeah, interesting one for the Hawks. Love Jai Newcomb. Forwards are getting it done. Nick Watson's been good. Dylan Moore's been all right. Even though he shows up for a half, but he still gets closer to the ton, even if he plays a half a footy. But yeah, it's an interesting one for the Hawks. Hopefully getting it done against North Melbourne, but you never know in Tassie. The wind could blow it anyone's way, I reckon. And then, it's the evening games after that. Port Adelaide versus GWS, starting at, I think, 6:30 at night, so bit of a gap between games. But yeah, Port v GWS, a weird one, because they're both kind of desolate at the moment. A lot of injuries on both teams, and neither team really in finals contention anymore. There may be the Giants, but yeah, it's going to be tough, especially at Port Adelaide, Adelaide Oval. But yeah, Port's missing a few people. Obviously, Rosie's been out. Who is it? Butters, obviously, out for a little bit. So maybe Jason Horne-Francis will be taking bulk CBAs again. He could be the best shout for Port Adelaide on the weekend. Maybe Jordan Sweet as well in the ruck. If Briggs is back or Madden's still in there. I think Sweet should go all right against the Giants. But yeah, Giants are also missing Finn Callahan this week and for the rest of the season. So that's a huge blow in the middle. Guess Clayton Oliver will be picking that up a bit. Maybe we'll see some of these young guns get a bit more time in there. Maybe Harry Ralston or Jack O or someone like that might be getting a little bit more time on the field. I don't know. I feel like it's time for both teams to just play a lot of their young guns as well. So should be an interesting one to start Saturday afternoon. And then Carlton versus the Lions to finish off Saturday. Interesting one because Carlton could get into finals well and truly, but the Lions have come back with a bit of a roar the last couple of weeks, getting it done. So yeah, very interesting one. I remember going to the Carlton v Lions game a couple of years ago, and it was an awesome atmosphere there. So it should be a fiery one to finish off Saturday. Paddy Cripps, obviously. Jagger Smith, love those guys. Sam Walsh has been awesome. The big three for the Blues. I'm also a big fan of Georgie Hewitt, but he's been missing the last couple of weeks. No Nick Newman for the Blues, so wondering who will be taking the kick-ins a bit more. Maybe a bit more junk down back for, say, Lockie Cowan, or if Zach Williams is coming back in, or someone down back who'll have to fill the hole now for Nick Newman. So interesting one for Carlton there, because, yeah, it could be a few kick-ins for them if they're against the Lions, because they've been awesome. Plenty happening there. Will Ashcroft, Lockie Neal, Hugh McCluggage was good last week. Yeah, Dunkley's come good. Like, it's all coming good now for the Lions. And yeah, don't know if the Blues are going to stop them on Saturday night, to be honest. Could be, yeah, very fiery one to finish off Saturday night, I reckon. So let me know. I reckon it could be, yeah, another Washcroft 120 plus coming in on Saturday night for sure. Sunday, 3 games, starting off with a bit of a toilet bowl in Richmond versus West Coast. Couple of bottom of the ladder teams. Yeah, West Coast going in as favourites. Interesting. Marcus Herbert, awesome last week. The number 1 draft picks are there. A lot of high draft picks are there for both teams, actually. So, yeah, just a bit of a training session, really. Or like a good test for both teams, I guess. Like, anyone could win that one. So, it's a very interesting one. Yeah, who have the Tigers got? Tim Taranto's been all right. Toby Nankervis is back at least, but not quite setting the world on fire. Who was it? Jaden Short last week was all right, but yeah, Tigers pretty tough on the fantasy side of things this year. So not sure if I can captain anyone in that one. Maybe Jaden Short. He might be back into some form. But yeah, West Coast, as I said, Marcus Herbert, awesome last week. 35 disposals. Can't sneeze at that. That was, yeah, a nice little outing for him last week. So hopefully he is going to be a star or some kind of gem for West Coast now in the fantasy world. Dersma, Reed, Tim Kelly was all right last week. Yeah, anyone could be firing in that one. And it will be an interesting one at the G, I reckon, for fantasy coaches anyway. Gold Coast Suns hosting the Melbourne Demons after that. Gold Coast have fallen off a cliff last couple of months. Yeah, words to be said about toxicity maybe, or certain players causing a ruckus there. But yeah, fantasy-wise, they have 100% fallen off a cliff, I feel. Maybe Noah Anderson, John Noble can hold their heads up, but and yeah, maybe Matty Rowell, but everyone else has just been up and down all year and very down the last couple of weeks. So it's been a tough watch for the Gold Coast fans. And hosting the Demons, Maxi Gawn, I reckon he's going to have a big one in the middle against the Suns. Cozzy Pickett, Jack Steele, going to be very formidable in a shaky Gold Coast Suns, against a shaky Gold Coast Suns, on Sunday afternoon. So yeah, big midfield battle, but see if the Suns have it in them to, ward off the Demons. It was Trent Rivers and Tom Sparrow have been the highlights I've felt for the Demons this year. Probably more so Sparrow, actually. He's really come alive the last couple of weeks. I think he's like a top 5 forward now. And yeah, getting in the middle, getting CBAs, dominating. So fun to watch. And I reckon the Demons will be getting that one done on Sunday afternoon for sure. Yeah, Gold Coast have been absolute rabble. And then finally, speaking of rabble, Essendon Bombers against Adelaide at Marvel. And I think after Adelaide got beaten last week, they probably want to come out firing against the Bombers, who have been rickety, to say the least. They did get a win recently, but then they got mopped by the Hawks last week. So, yeah, at home, the Bombers, but I think the Crows will get all over them on Sunday afternoon. A few outs for the Bombers that I don't like, or at least one. Sullivan Roby is an unfortunate out for the Bombers. I think he's one of their best already. But obviously Dyson Sharp's there. Zach Merritt's still there. Would love to see Archie Roberts kick on again, especially down back against the Crows. I think they've got plenty of forwards ready to give them some kick-ins, I think, on the weekend. Tex Walker's there. Riley Thilthorpe, Darcy Fogarty, all the big boys should be getting it done, or at least keeping up that end of the field all day, I think. But fantasy-wise, I think obviously Jordan Dawson, Isaac Rankin, the ruck matchup maybe could be, very interesting actually. Nick Bryan against McAndrew could be actually a decent ruck matchup, possibly. We'll see, at least on the fantasy side of things. Down back, I think the Crows are missing Millera, or he was maybe going to be an out. We'll see tonight. But a few ifs or buts for both teams, I think, there. And interesting one to finish off the week. You'd think the Crows should be getting it done to finish off on Sunday. And then finally here, guys, got some captain options for you. Starting at the start of the week here on Thursday night. Tonight, Darcy Cameron, I think, will be another big week for him. 137 last week, and coming in against the Cats, should be getting a big score tonight. Fingers crossed, DCam is hitting the form at the right time. Bailey Smith as well. Obviously, he's been awesome this year. And just the biggest one for the Cats now, I think, with no Max Holmes. Really need him to step it up and, take bulk CBAs, get amongst it as much as possible, I think. Don't think Warple should be the replacement for Bailey Smith. He will need to step up. Maybe Nick Dacos as well, obviously. He is the number one player. But he hasn't been too great the last couple of weeks, I feel. But who knows? At the G, could be firing as well. Naz, obviously. Wanganeen Miller, awesome last week. 183, 4 goals, 40 disposals. Lock it on. Maybe even chuck the C on him. Don't even worry about the VC. He's just that good. Errol Goulden as well. He's come back into some form. So, I think he'll be getting busy again. Who's that? Harry Sheasel against the Hawks. I mean, I don't usually put people against the Hawks because I think the Hawks usually, keep the fantasy numbers at bay. But I think it's Harry Sheezel, so he's probably going to get right back up there again. 120 plus for the Shees. Jason Horne-Francis there should be taking bulk CBAs, bulk midfield time against the Giants on the weekend. He'll be getting most of it, you'd have to think, for Port. Lockie Whitfield, I think, will be the main man down back. He was stepping it up in the second half last week, but then, I think he'll be getting most of it down back again, especially with Finn Callahan out. I think that is going to be a huge blow for the Giants, and it could be in the back half a bit at Adelaide Oval on Saturday afternoon. Will Ashcroft and Lockie Neal against Carlton. Washcroft's just been amazing the last 6-7 weeks, 120s regularly, and I think he's going to do it again. Lockie Neal as well. I think he loves to step it up against the Blues and could be accumulating the ball at will. We'll see. Him versus Cripps, though, could be very, very interesting. Jaden Short for the Tigers. I think he might have hit some form, and against West Coast, interesting matchup. That's all I'll say. Richmond could be going all right against the Eagles, maybe. Same the other way, though. Eagles, I've got here an even darker horse for a captain option, but could you be brave enough to put the C on Marcus Herbert against the Tigers? Maybe. I've got him there because I reckon he is an absolute superstar in the making, and I would love to see him step it up and prove me right this weekend. Come on, Herbie. Get 110 plus again. That would be awesome against the Tigers. Max Gawn against Gold Coast, I think, is a lock on Sunday afternoon. If you need a Sunday captain, could be a good one against Gold Coast, I think. Noah Anderson at home. I always think Noah Anderson at home is worth a captain option, to be honest. And against the D's and the way Gold Coast has been going, I think he is the main man there with Rowley. Jordan Dawson and Isaac Rankin there to finish off against the Bombers. Couple of Crows, I think, will be teeing off to finish off the week. So as far as last game captains, I don't think you can go wrong with either of those two. Dawson in particular, I think he is due for a big, big one on the weekend. And there you have it, guys. That is my round 21 preview. Couple of captain options there, the matchups of the week, and the best from round 20 as well, guys. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe here and on social media. And check me out. I'll be live tonight with the stats up, watching the games. So come and say hi. And check it out then. So check out some Game Day Squad as well, guys. Got the code there. You get some free packs for a bit of a card collecting Dynasty League. So check that one out as well. That helps me out. So thank you very much, guys. And until next time, see you in the next video.